Hi, Fatima.
Hi, Asma.
Hello, Ria.
Hi.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
So, how has your week been, Fatima?
My week has been amazing, actually. I've had such an amazing week.
What was amazing about it? Share with us.
I think I've understood how to deal with people more at work because of baselines. I was having a hard time dealing with some people and I didn't understand why. Now that I've understood my baselines, like one of the things that I have to work with the person is trust.
Yeah.
And some of my colleagues I didn't trust the way we were working. So I found a way of avoiding having confrontation with them or just telling them like I need certain things to be done and I don't want you to lie or to say something that I don't like, and it makes my environment amazing. Actually, best plans are I've understood what was frustrating me at work actually. Now it makes it more easier for me to understand, this is what defines me and how can I apply it for me to work in this environment.
And that feels very powerful, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So today we're going to do, this session is about integrated power coding, and it's a process that helps you understand how you've been coded. That means how you've been wired, how you think, why you think the way you think, and over time, these thoughts become your codes, and your codes are the things your brain tells you, and the negative beliefs. All the things that they're negative, but then they just keep coming. So, but like baselines, coding your negative thoughts, your coding can be changed. Baselines are formed normally by the age of 7 due to people you've interacted with, all the references you've gathered from people, what people have said about you, and that's how you start being, like you said, trust is a big one for you. So something must have happened during your childhood for you to have trust as a baseline. But coding happens during, various events. Maybe somebody said something to you, and that sticks that. So there are two types of codes, main codes. There's the N codes and the E codes. The N codes are the negative codes, and those are the chatter you hear behind your head all the time, the small thoughts that go, I can't do this, I'm not good enough, it's too hard, it's impossible. While E codes are the preferred ones. They're the ones that sometimes you just get this feeling that I think I can do this. It's possible, I can conquer, I'm incredible. So the N codes are mostly protective devices by nature that try to keep you safe, but they are not good because they don't get you to where you want to go. Majority of people don't realize they are negatively coded, and that's why this program is so effective, because once you find out that you have N codes, then you know how to change them to E codes, which we'll come to later. So, for example, examples of when you have experiences that really form your N codes. For example, when you're a child, let me give you an example of myself. So when I was a child, my 3 brothers would always take the first, second, third position. And my dad would always say to them, oh, that's a good job. But he never said anything to me. So for me, I've always thought I could never be 1 to 3rd because he never even acknowledged that I could make it. So even when I went to university and I got beautiful grades, I always told myself, that's just my luck. That's just sheer luck, because this is not you. It's not, you can never be good like your brothers. And until I started learning various programs, so then I realized that I think those are my little chatters that were trying to protect me so I don't get disappointed. So we always try to remove those N codes because they're collected over time and we don't need them. We need to change them. If not, the interpretation of the past really affects us. So that's why we really, we want to change the N codes to, like I told you, the E codes. So I'm going to broadcast to you an activity that we call letting go and holding on. You're going to think of past events in your life, both positive and negative. And you're going to really delve into them, and it's going to be like how those activities, how those events have impacted you in your life. and then we're going to take it up from there. When I grow past it, if you have any questions, you can let me know. And then we're going to debrief next session,
Okay.
and then we'll take it
That
up from
sounds
there.
interesting.
Okay, and you're going to do it, right?
Yeah, yeah,
I'm
definitely.
waiting. Okay.
Okay,
Then see you.
See you later.
Thank you.
Okay, bye.
Hi Fatima,
Hi.
welcome back.
Thank you.
How was your studies been? Your
Amazing,
Mhm.
amazing, quite interesting.
okay. Did you get the activity I sent you?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So how was it? Did you do it?
Yes, I did it,
Mhm.
and it's quite interesting.
Okay.
Yeah.
What was interesting about it?
Learning the
what part
things
of it?
that I've learned a lot of things that I've been holding back. Like I didn't think they affected me in life, but
Mhm.
I realized, like some of them, I realized my best lines are actually best from that event. So it's amazing, like how things happen to your life and make you change one over another as
Yeah,
a person.
true, yeah. And those were, those times were subconsciously done, but then now you're more conscious about it, which is good. Okay.
And also some of them taught me the importance of my baseline.
Mhm.
Like the event happened and it was very, at the age where I grew up with a father who had certain characteristics. So it was very important for that characteristic to be in my life. And when I was writing the event, it was like, okay, because it affected me for a long time in a relationship with my brothers and sisters somehow.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's so interesting. Okay, so do you want to share? There are five. There would be 5 events, right?
Yeah.
So there's a positive event and a negative event. Would you want to share the positive? Which one do you want to
do
go
I,
for?
do I read all the?
Yeah, please read all of them. Then we.
Okay, so I have my positive is learning from Super Nanny, and the negative one is repeating the bread, and then a positive one helping to give charity with my dad. A negative one, my dad losing his business, and positive event changing school. So yeah.
So changing school was positive for you.
Yeah, because of the way my parents reacted. I
Okay.
wanted to change the school for a reason, and the reaction that they gave to me, it made me believe that I can change my life, and I don't have to force things to happen at a certain point. So it created a different feeling about me change. It's not like I'm a loser, want to change something. It's like it's okay to change if you're not comfortable.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
yeah.
Ah, okay. It's interesting. So, would you want to share with me one positive event, considering your age? Can you just put in your age?
Yeah.
How it happened? When? What did you tell
so
yourself?
that's my defining moment for the positive. This is giving charity to people with my dad. I was at the age of 14, but I've been, this has been doing it since I was 9. So I went with my dad to give food to the village where people are underprivileged. And my father told me to look at the people and see how lucky I am. So he actually asked me to compare because I was complaining a lot about my life. So he took me there and he told me to look at the things that they don't have and what I have. And he asked me to see and tell him what I have learned. So when I was there, he actually told me, what have you learned from this experience and how does it make you feel as a person? So what I told myself is my father wanted me to be scared. That's what I felt. I felt like he's trying to manipulate me so that I don't complain. But then as I was doing the activity, I learned that I was so lucky. That there's a lot that I had in my life. I learned about gratitude. So that's one thing that my father taught me, to learn about gratitude, to be grateful of what I have in my life. And I also learned about making a difference. I think that's something that I used to like to do because he used to help people a lot. So from an early age, I knew making a difference in somebody's life is good, and it makes it even more powerful for me to know that it's important if you help somebody who's in need. And it doesn't matter what you have, because he was not such a he was well off, but not that rich. But he would always reach out to help people. So for me, that has been a very good experience. As growing up, I just knew that somebody needs help, we need to help. and you need always to see where you are and not complain about life. So it's been a very good experience for me.
Okay, interesting. Okay, so that's have you finished reading your book? That's your positive there.
Yeah.
Okay, so you've said some. If I'm right, correct me if I'm wrong. Some of the positive beliefs you've adopted. Gratitude
Yes,
and helping people.
so much.
Okay, so I'm sure you're still holding on to those beliefs, right? Those.
Yeah, because that's one reason that I was doing the coaching is I want to empower youth back home. That's the reason why I joined the program.
Okay.
Because from my dad, I used to see that he helped a lot of my friends going to school because he would empower them one way or another. When I was growing up, he used to be an engineer, so for us not to waste time playing, he used to take us to his place where he's working, and we had to do something. So, that was a way of, being in the street with bad community.
So how are those beliefs helping you to excel now in your life? Yeah. How do you see them being exhibited?
Gratitude is one thing that has made me not, whenever I have, even when I'm in the worst state of my life, I always remember that I'm blessed one way or another, and there's somebody else who needs more help than me. So it always pushes me back to my ground. As much as I will go, we say Alhamdulillah.
Yeah.
It's like I say we were taught to say Alhamdulillah for whatever is happening. So it's like his words are in my mind that you will hear, but there's somebody who's beyond you.
Yes.
And you never forget that you are awake. And this is the things that I was told. When you wake up, you have to say Alhamdulillah, I woke up. So it's something that is embedded.
It's already engraved. Yeah, that's beautiful. So why do you think it's important for you? You know you have it. Why do you think it's important for you to hold on to it?
To be honest, it's one thing that has made my life easy. Because I've gone through a lot. And if I didn't have gratitude, I think most of the things will not work in my life. That the belief I can just make it for the next day, or I can. Because I've never. What he taught me is not to feel sorry, just find a way to make it better.
Yeah.
And I always see somebody else as an example. So it has taught me in life to always be grateful wherever situation I'm in. I just believe it's happened, and so it's a very good, it's a powerful thing that he gave me.
And you're still holding on to it, and you know the importance of holding on to it for. Okay, that's good. So, would you want to share with me the negative event that happened?
Okay, so see, my dad was losing his business, so my dad was shouting to my brothers, and he was shouting that he trusted them about his business. So he was doing something, and he let my brothers to work with the business and everything in his life, and that was all his savings. And for some reasons, my brothers just spent his money and spoiled the business. So when he was shouting about how not to trust people, that he trusted them, and it's useless to trust people, and especially them, they're his sons. So trust became a very big issue for me. I just had the fear of, you trust somebody's gonna use you. I felt like they used my dad, and the fact that my dad was a person who was working so hard to give us a life, and we were younger. So I was 16 and my brother was like 28. So he was building a business, so if he gets old or something, we have a family where they can help us to let us go to college and that. So he retired, and he gave them the business so that he can take care of. So for me, that was a very big thing. Trust became like a fear thing for me, like how do you trust? But then at the same time, he was a very trustworthy person. So trust also became important to me because he was always teaching us you need to be trustworthy. And I didn't understand why they ended up to do such things. So I closed a lot about trusting people, and it kind of affects you somehow in life.
And it's interesting that trust again is a baseline for you, because like I said, the referencing comes from what happens in your life.
Why it's a baseline for me, because my dad used to make it a very important thing. If you ask me now about my baseline, I'll tell you my father's baseline was integrity, because he used to talk about integrity a lot. You need to have integrity, and if you don't have integrity, you have nothing. So trusting him and trusting people around you was just a good thing because that's what he taught me.
Mm-hmm.
And then it became an effect when my brother just didn't feel like they
Yeah.
So I didn't feel it's right to trust people, especially when it came from very close people in my family.
Mm-hmm. So obviously you're holding this negative belief of, obviously it's trust, right? How do you think it's stopping you from excelling?
Trusting my own decisions. So because it has become a fear of me that if I to trust is very hard. So to a certain point it reached a point where I don't trust my own decision. I have to question myself 100 times, am I doing the right thing? And I think it affects me. If you look at my will of life, my relationship is the worst part I have into. So
as relationships need trust.
Yeah, so I cannot let myself trust people, to let people in my life. And because I went through a divorce, so it's made it even more stronger.
Yeah.
So trust is a very big thing for me, and like for somebody to come in my circle or for me to trust you, it takes years. So it has affected me so much in so many ways, not only because of relationship. The fear of change, because I don't trust myself. I don't trust if I'm making the right decision. I don't trust if I'm good enough to do this. I don't trust. So trust has affected me in so many areas.
Yeah, I can imagine. Trust is a very strong one. It's a strong emotion, right?
Yeah.
So why do you think it's important to get rid of this, and how would you think it can
To
make
be
your life
honest,
better?
I can't get rid of trust because trust is my strongest baseline. It's my baseline.
No. How do you think?
What?
How do you get rid of the negative thought that I can't trust?
I need to use it as my baseline to make decision using it as my baseline because now I know my baseline. I think I didn't know that it's my baseline at the same time, and the fact that I understand now it's my baseline, I think it's gonna make me make a decision, understanding why I want to make that decision. Because before, I know that it's good to trust, but I could not do it because of the fear that it's going to hurt me. So it was something that I didn't understand. I think now that I understand what's the benefit of trusting as my baseline, it's going to be easier for me to make decision in a sound way. I think so. I'm not anymore.
Okay.
That's what I'm thinking.
So it's important for you because you said you close up and you don't trust. So obviously, when you don't trust, you close up, and then as a result, you're not open to opportunities. And so maybe you need to start checking who to trust, how to set boundaries. It's not about really how to set.
That's what I've started.
And that's so your life becomes better in such a way that, because when you open yourself to possibilities, obviously you grow.
Because if you don't trust yourself, also you end up feeling that you're not good enough because of that issue of trusting yourself so much until you doubt that, what if I'm not good enough to do this thing that I have? So I think it's now that I know it's my baseline, I'm gonna use it more to making decisions as to what benefit, if I trust, will I get from that trust. It's a different perspective.
Be more objective.
Be more objective.
So that you don't close up to God knows what opportunities will come your way, right? Okay. So now that we've done this, the next activity would be about coding. And coding is part of negative to codes, like I explained to you earlier, is probably part of the reason, most likely even part of the reason why you're not trusting. So now I'm going to broadcast you the coding activity. Then you're going to do it, and then we debrief and share and take it up from there.
Thank you.